conniving morning. Morning, neighbor, morning, morning, neighbor, morning, morning, you can keep your conniving morning. When you've been a corrupt in a biz, there'll be morning. Now because your money done, you come with conniving morning. When you had your pocket full, in a biz, there'll be morning. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me morning. Yes, morning, neighbor, morning, neighbor, morning, morning, neighbor, morning, morning, I don't want you conniving morning. Neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that me walk. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. I don't want you conniving money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politician they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, with Jah as ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop, David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam, Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London, Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, both people governor, Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson, Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in Tongley, looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is, Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely need it too. Thank you.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
my lovely native land. For dear to me than all the world I see was darkest round. Down upon the border, the great Atlantic glory to a glory, glory to your the sea, as old as known, or better in the presence as though I love thee, I love thee, I love Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Together, my comrades, we'll build a brand new Guyana, a country where all are equal opportunity. So let us begin now to show loyalty to Guyana by showing love and respect for all Guyanese. My brothers, my sisters, we will live and die here together. Come on to one people, one nation, one destiny. For harmonious living, cooperation will be forever. In work and play as we live as strong Guyanese. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Well, it's time we settle all the rich lands in the interior. Our natural resources are there in great quantity. And we will do farming and establish towns by the border. With global food so we could fill all Guyanese. My greatest desire is to serve my country, Guyana, and sincerely help Guyana to move along. Our government asks us that we study hard and we learn the things that will help Guyana to become strong. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. To help develop Guyana the free.
You
up in the morning and the baby cry. The sugar pan empty, the milk bottle dry. The little boy child on the mango tree. The mango tree, passing up his belly. The young girl falling. She wouldn't settle. She white, she bum, she wet. Sentimental, toilet paper. They never had, they used to put two in the gully by the whole backyard. They rub she down and they put it to sleep. The rain comes down and the house does sleep. Poverty is hell. Poverty is hell. A poor man always dream another dream. He happy like a puppy when he dream another dream. He dream that he have a new roof on the hut. He dream that he have some good food in the pot. He dream that he have a rich friend named Frank. He dream that he have a lot of cash in the bank. He dream that he pay all his bills for the month. He dream that he have a new car in the front. He dream that he have to go to a bed. He dream that his pocket have a big fat toilet. He wake up in the night and he rush for his pants. All he found in the pocket was a whole lot of ants. Poverty is hell. Poverty is hell. No, 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 yeah. Ten little children for dumpling. Mommy got to size them 10. A piece for a boy and a piece for a girl. A piece for the neighbor daughter mud. The cat in the corner looking to bed. Little the corner kick him in the leg. Go in the room and look for a rat. The rat in the roof, he know about cat. Now the cat see a ticket chunk, yeah. He rush for the ticket chunk. But the poor little ticket chunk flew away like a ticket chunk. Then cockroach gone in the condensed milk. Mama get vexed for his condensed milk. Who need the condensed milk for? Come near you picky head, good for nothing. Mama get vexed and she does get hot. She pass some lashing, then you know what. Poverty is hell. Poverty is hell. And then sing whoa. Hear my plea, oh dear. A song for my life. Rose up early this morning to the sounds of crying. Another mother shedding her tears. Oh yeah. Why all the pain and suffering? Why all the senseless killing? Could it be that nobody cares? Oh no. So many sons lost in the slaughter. Blood running in the streets like water. A gun in hand knows no friend. No. Woman, they're selling death in my land. Getting rich off the souls of we children. Can you tell me when will it end? How many more must carry this load? Oh, how many more? How many more? How many more? Before we trot down Zion Road. How many more? Won't you hear my plea? Send a happy hand for the country. In man, there's no solution. No. I'm begging for the children's future. Oh, Jah, drugs got them by the collar. How can we stop this mind pollution?
Must we carry this load?
Too many starving and too many hungry. Too many homeless souls in the city. It seems like there's no. Too many big shots and too much connections. Too many loopholes in Babylon system. But yeah, how can your children go? How many more child must carry this load? How many more child before we trot Zion? Sing with me. How many more child must carry this load? How many more child before we trot Zion? How many more? 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 My children. How many more? How many more? Won't you hear my plea? I'm down on bended knees. Oh, Jah. How many more? How many more? My children. Afraid to make commitments. One foot in, one foot out. Whoa.
Hi. Hello. Good morning. How are you? How was I here last night? Hi, hello, morning, y'all. How y'all doing? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I'm your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. It is 12 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. It is Wednesday, so it is Empowerment Wednesday. Sorry for those of you who were misled when I said today's Thursday on yesterday's program. It means you got to mind your own calendar, don't in mind. I got my own biological clock on it. Sometimes it tick faster than anybody else's own. Right? Good. So y'all don't worry me. If you pay attention, you will know that I was a day ahead of the time. Right? Good. Yes, some of us are ahead of our time, like Pops Barnum was, and perhaps still is ahead of his time. There are many of us ahead of our time. But some of y'all can't see though. Y'all wouldn't even acknowledge it. Y'all don't believe in your own vision much as other people. Right? So there's no fault of mine. So y'all share the life. Tell a friend, call a friend, tell them, hey, the Buxtonian is here again this morning. And who knows? What is he going to talk about? Because it's Empowerment Wednesday. And on Empowerment Wednesdays, the man is talk about all kinds of things. Right? So what we going to talk about today? I want to talk about some Obi. I'm going to tell y'all though. I definitely want to talk about some Obi. I want to talk about some Obi. We're going to talk about some Obi. Right? You know, it's good to hear, it's good to listen sometimes. It is also good to look for deeper meanings.
And so I want to encourage us to have open minds and continue to interrogate information and interrogate people who bring information to us. It's a healthy thing. Not because somebody says something, you can just accept it as it is. Because in reality, you see a man's face, you don't see his heart. Right? Not because the bishop say, the boat had capacity of 200 plus, you're going to accept it, because there's information that is circulating now to say that the boat's capacity was about 160 or so when it was first commissioned. So you stretch iron? You stretch iron, no? And so the boat suddenly doubled its capacity or something like that. Those are things that need interrogating. They're still saying that 179 or thereabout persons were on the vessel. I see it's projected based on those who they rescued, 70-something persons, 77, I think. They're still projecting that 110 or so are likely dead. We will never know. I don't think we will ever know. Because you do not have adequate records, adequate verifiable records. It's a game of guessing. It's a game of guessing. And under no circumstance will you be able to recover all of the victims of that tragedy. I can tell you that for a fact. Because my understanding is after 3 days, when you drown, you float. Since I was a little boy, I heard that. When you drown, you float on the third day. And you're likely to burst on the fourth day. Because of the gases and so on in the intestine, you're likely to burst on the fourth day. And once that body bursts, then it loses its ability to float. It loses buoyancy. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, These words are just dropping my head. I guess because I went to school and I learned my vocabulary and so on. There's just come when I need it. Yes, it loses buoyancy. And so it loses that ability to float, and so it will sink. It will be under the surface of the water. It will not immediately sink to the bottom of the ocean, but it might be at depths that I can't see. Definitely, you won't be able to see unless you use high tech, and you're going to use high tech way in the entire ocean, the entire river. You ain't got a clue. Listen, but I don't know. Sometimes I think I got too much brain for this little head. Because when I think about situations and the way I think about situations, I wonder if these people who call themselves leaders and call themselves so brilliant and call themselves doctor this and doctor that and doctor the other and the honorable this, honorable that and the other, I want to know if they really have the capacity to think. With science and technology, I am of the opinion that we should have been able to, quote unquote, map the tides, map the water flow at that particular time of day when this incident occurred. What was the tide? How was it acting? Where were the directions of flow for the water? And similarly, map the tide if you want an hourly rate after that. And you can have a projection as to where bodies are likely to float up, as we like to say. Y'all tell me if y'all think I'm stupid bad, or if, in fact, if I'm more stupid than Edgil is. Y'all tell me that. Or, I mean, they're just stupid bad. But I think Mark Phillips a little more stupid. So y'all tell me if y'all think I'm as stupid as the two of them combined together. Is it possible that we could have had a mapping a simulation of the behavior of the water at the time of that incident? And if we could have had a simulation of the water at the time of that incident, then it was possible that we could have, quote unquote, concentrated the first round of our search in those particular areas. We got all kind of agreements with all kind of big shot countries that come here and extract our resources to develop themselves and their technology and to protect their citizens. I'm starting to get emotional. Y'all don't get on my nerves this morning. And when we are in need, these jackasses that call themselves doctor this and doctor that and doctor the other and set the shitheads couldn't call on these so-called what do you call them, allies? Fanani, President Sir Fanani, where are your friends in the United States government? Where are your friends in the Chinese government? Where are your friends in the Canadian government? At least as far as I gather, they get the best out of this country, sucking the resources out. Satellite imagery. Why you couldn't rely on the Americans for satellite imagery to show you where the boat went down, for example, or even show you the trajectory of the boat or the trajectory of the water after the boat sunk, and so on and so forth. These people, as far as I know, got satellites in. It's not the other day Guyana entered into some agreement with the US. I don't know if it's the shipwright agreement. I can't remember what it is, but some kind of agreement that gave them access to Guyana space and all of that. Operation some shit for the Caribbean. Sorry, I might be using some coarse language this morning, but I'm just expressing myself. I'm empowered to do that. It's Empowerment Wednesday. Harish Singh, I think, is the name of the fisherman who, because of the knowledge of his knowledge of the river, the waterway, was able to locate where the boat went down. Ahead of the Coast Guard, Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard, ahead of the police. And these are agencies that you hear the thieving government talk about spending how much hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to boost up the capacity and so on. I listen, I don't know how many others pay attention, but I listen. And I listen to Neil Marks from Newsroom or wherever interviewing Harish Singh. And Harish Singh, it would appear as though Harish Singh was the person who got the first call to respond to this distress. I don't know if I'm right? But from listening, I get the impression that Harish Singh is one of the persons who got the first call to respond to disaster. Minister Zulfi and the president and the vice president, those are the three names I heard featuring in Harish Singh's story. They called him out of his bed about 12 o'clock at night. And he promised them he can find the people. And he went out there with his crew. And based on his calculation, his mental, as I would say, he decided that the first direction to look for survivors, I would call it upstream. I don't know if it's upstream or downstream. But he said he went in that direction and he started picking up people based on his understanding of the operation, based on his understanding of the river and the water flow, as I would call it. And he was able to rescue quite a number of persons, from my understanding, by using the little intellect. Imagine if he had the assistance of technology. And he said it is the same calculations that he used to locate where the vessel went down. And this is a man that we would normally look at and say he's just a fisherman. But he displayed that he knew his territory. But my question is, and I'm saying that's my understanding, or it would appear so, that Irish Singh got one of the first calls to respond. What the coordination looked like. What the coordination looked like for the first responders. Because I gathered there was none. Another fisherman who Irish Singh apparently called out to join the search and so on said that he found a male and 2 children, I think. And based on his calculation, again, he was able to find these people. And he had to rush back to shore with them because all 3 of them became unconscious. All 3 of them became unconscious. This fisherman couldn't call, couldn't communicate, because, let me continue to quote him. He said all 3 of them became unconscious. And therefore, he thought it necessary to rush back and take them to shore so that they could be attended to. But if he had continued on the path that he was, he is sure that he was going to find other survivors. If he had continued on the path that he was, he is sure he was going to find other survivors. I beaten this fisherman. He did a wonderful job. He was on the path that he believed they were survivors. And the time came when he had to make a critical call. Do I take the chance of these who I found dying because they are now unconscious and continue to look for others who I can perhaps save? Or do I take these in and know that I've saved 3 persons? Right? But hear me, I'm asking the question about coordination again. Because, all right, there are 5, 6, 7 vessels out there, first responders. You mean none of us, none of them bright by, didn't see the need, the necessity for each of these vessels to be able to contact each other by the use of a cell phone and telephone number or WhatsApp group, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you're going to tell me, yeah, it was fast, quick response. Nobody had time for that. Leadership. 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 Because if all of us are out there and we're doing things individually and there's no coordination, quite frankly, we become inefficient. And in instances like these, emergency responses, time is of the essence. So asking about that, what was the level of coordination among these rescuers? And who got the first call to respond? And what the state's response looked like? Because quite frankly, up to now, I haven't heard any report that says that of those 77 persons that they say they were able to rescue, the state had the state's assets played a major role in them. Yes, Denise. If they had expended more resources, more people would have been saved. As a matter of fact, if they had responded earlier, one of the things I don't see people addressing, right? My understanding is that this boat, from timelines and so on, were now about 10 o'clock. Harry Singh, who was a first responder, maybe got to that site first or so on. Said he got to a call about 12 o'clock, 2 hours after. Let us establish a timeline. Because it is recorded or it is reported that the distress call from MV Barima was picked up at Timir Airport, at the airport. At what time did that distress call get to the airport? Or was picked up at the airport, wherever the terminology you want to use. At what time did they get that distress call at the airport? How long did it take for the first responders to reach where the boat went down? How long did it take? How long did it take to marshal the assets of the state? As in the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard, as in the Guyana Police Force Marine Unit, as in Transport and Harbors, wherever they use. How long did it take to marshal those assets to respond to this disaster? How long did it take for the subject minister to respond? Because again, I'm hearing, I'm understanding, I'm interpreting, I'm concluding that the major response to this tragedy occurred at daylight. I'm hearing the first responders saying it was dark, it was really dark out there. Again, what does the state asset look like for such tragedies, such incidents? Where are the high beam searchlights? I can't say fitting in helicopters. They say only one of them is functional. At what time did that helicopter go there? Was it fitted with high beam lights to illuminate the area? These are some questions on my mind, and they will still be on my mind. We got 3 days of mourning. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're gonna bring back life? What are we gonna do for we as a people? We got vigil. What are we gonna do for we as a people? Matter of fact, I should say, I think this tragedy has done something for Guyanese, because Guyanese has been calling for a while now for the opposition to work in unity. I don't know if it's a joke somebody making, but I saw in one of the groups there is supposed to be a joint opposition press conference at 10 o'clock today. So it had to take the deaths of scores of people in this disaster for the opposition to recognize the importance of working together. Okay, if that is what that disaster will achieve for us, count your blessings, name them one by one. But I wonder what the joint opposition is coming to tell us. Because if the joint opposition is coming to tell us that we're going to take the streets, we're going to organize against this government and not mourn, then I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear them. If the joint opposition is not coming out to say, we have decided that this thing is overbearing and we will work together, we will work tirelessly together, we will put our differences behind. And make this government uncomfortable every single day. We are going to hound them out of office. I want to hear y'all. I don't want the opposition come and tell me how many bodies they contributed in retrieving. I don't want to hear that. I want y'all come and tell me how y'all intend to impact the quality of governance in this country and hold the PPP accountable until such time that we can have them removed from office. And quite frankly, having them removed from office should be the aim should be in short order. It might be mission impossible to ask y'all to get a no confidence motion because you don't have the numbers in the parliament. But it's not mission impossible to have y'all to ask the country, the citizens of this country, to make it ungovernable, because when the Granger government was there, Jack Dio and others did threaten to make it ungovernable. I think there's more justification now than any other time to make this country ungovernable. The government must be held accountable. And as things appear right now, I think I said it prior and I'm going to say it again, I don't see the PPP removing Ejil unless the people really, really, really show that they're serious about having Ejil removed. So, joint opposition press conference. Let me hear what they're talking about at 10 o'clock. I think you're going to clear my calendar and wait for that. Imagine a national disaster. And, you know, this is the difference to me between mice and men. A national disaster like this, and the competition between soup drinker Mark Phillips and Azuddin Mohammed, at least there appears to be a competition between them, the leader of the opposition and leader of government business, as to who could pick up more dead bodies. As to who team could pick up more dead bodies. Congratulations, Mark Phillips, you've reached another low. You can take time out to come on social media and make it clear to the nation that Azuddin Mohammed and his team did not pick up more dead bodies than the government. The government created those dead bodies. The government should have been picking up all of them. It is despicable for Azuddin to be using these the photograph of these dead people for clicks and likes. I will know brief for Azuddin, I say, and I will say it again, that I believe that he was in bed with the PPP all the time when they were murdering black people's children. But I think he has shown more initiative in this instance than the old PPP government or the old PPP cabinet together. Because from my understanding, what the man was doing is posting identifying marks on the corpse. I saw one of the photos published was a tattoo on somebody's back or some part of the anatomy. Yes, families could look at that photo and they could say beyond the shadow of a doubt, that is Mark Jones. Mark had a tattoo. This is my cousin Mark Jones. So they know Mark Jones has been accounted for because he was found. The next thing is to find out where they're carrying the corpse of Mark Jones and what is expected of the family to deal with the corpse of Mark Jones. Not have your relatives sit somewhere, God knows where, for days and weeks and hours and months, waiting to be identified. Because the way the government is managing this shit, the way the government is politicizing and politically managing this thing, doesn't seem to me that people are going to be able to get access to their relatives and dead relatives and so on fast enough to identify them. Because it's bureaucracy and red tape. Even in a tragedy like this, it's bureaucracy and red tape. And so I personally have no qualms with anybody publishing identifying marks from the corpse that were retrieved. And so since Mark Phillips and them got a problem with that, y'all show me your strategy which is better. Anthony Brown asking, oh Jack, you're quiet, so like they got a fallout in the party. I don't think they got no fallout in no party. Boys of a feather flock together, demons alike flock together. So I don't think they got no fallout in no party. The question is, where is the state of health of Jack Gill? This is what y'all should be asking. That's the question I would want to ask. When some people missing, is either the sick bad or they're cooking up another portion of wickedness. So which one y'all think in this instance? Which one y'all think is in this instance? But I really want dwell on though. Whoever Jack Joe there, Jack Joe there. The same judgment Jack Joe and the rest of them got face when the time comes for judgment. Right? Here your government response to the tragedy. From Anil Nandalal, death foul. Government of Guyana invites you to an interfaith national prayer service in remembrance of the victims of the MV Berrima tragedy. Wednesday, 22nd July, 6 p.m., Kingston, Siwa, suggested attire white. Your government carry y'all for dress up in white and go to Kingston, Siwa in an interfaith prayer service in remembrance of the victims of the tragedy. I said to my friends, nobody tells me what to wear first and foremost. And second, nobody gets me involved in the rituals by telling me wear all black and all white and all blue and all green and all this and all that. The Bible says, come as you are. Don't tell me what to wear unless you got your own motives in what I wear. Three days of mourning should be 3 days of protest. I'm repeating it. I said it yesterday or the day before. Don't tell me about mourn. organize protests, I'll be there with you. I will be there with you. The first sign of justice to the victims of this tragedy, this disaster under the PPP, is in the back of Ejil. Because ultimately, I'm saying again, Ejil is. I saw an article where Ejil is saying that the Malaysia, this is a new vessel that they brought from India not so long ago, 3 years after. Imagine 3 years after a vessel that you spent millions of US dollars to bring to replace MV Barima. You commission it and all thing. That vessel, as far as I know, has never served that community one day. But 3 years after, it needs, let me call it maintenance, repairs, to the tune of in excess of $200 million. More money to repair a so-called new vessel than you needed to repair almost 90-year-old vessel. Because a 90-year-old vessel, almost 90-year-old vessel was requiring, I think, $124 million to repairs or for maintenance. So how your new vessel costs twice as much as an 87-year-old, almost 90-year-old vessel to maintain in just 3 years? People should go to jail. People should be placed before the firing squad like they do in places like China when they find you in corruption. This is a subject minister that telling you 3 years after the vessel was not able to service the route because they were unable to construct the roll-on, roll-off facility or wharf, whatever you call it. If this is not incompetence, what is? So why do you want to have an incompetent person managing the assets of the state and full of arrogance? I got a video for sure, yeah, in part. I was encouraged last night when I was listening to the news and I heard Patterson, who is former Minister of Public Works, say that with the recommendation of Junior Minister of Public Works Annette Ferguson, they had a system in place where they had monitors, I think. I can't remember if it's monitors, he said, but monitors for when those vessels were loading to ensure that they stayed within the safety requirement. Kudos again to the APNU. Visionary leadership. They might not have gotten it all right, but they got some things right. Tomorrow I will have Annette on, and I guess we will talk a little about that. Because they had people, former police and military people, monitoring the boats to ensure that they follow the safety regulations in terms of capacity and all of that. But you know what the PPP did? When they got into office, they dismissed all of them. They dismissed all of them. They closed down the unit. Because it was something created by the APNU. They didn't look at the fact that, hey, this is necessary. Hey, this is a good thing. Hey, this is a great idea. It didn't come from us, but it is a great idea and we should use it. We should allow it to work. No, they shut it down. Put all them people on the breadline. And today, we have a disaster that you can't tell the number of people on the vessel because you have unregistered people, people not registered on the manifest. You can't tell how many persons were on the vessel, so you can't conduct. Even if they were to find everybody who were on the vessel, they can conclude that they found everybody. There can be no reconciliation of the number on the vessel, the number rescued, and the number recovered, retrieved. But people are going to dig in their heels and say the government is not culpable. Ejel in particular is not culpable. I want y'all to listen to this jackass because I got some things to address when we done listening to this jackass. And jackasses like these put us in danger every single day of the year. Because jackasses like these become distractions. They get other jackasses to bray like them in defense of the soup. Maybe the bottom of the soup or the leftover soup or whichever part of the soup that they get in. But y'all listen to this idiot. We're going to come back and we're going to address this idiot in a bit. I must tell you, strong language. But y'all listen to this.
Why you think I try to keep far from it right now? If you have noticed, you haven't seen me face on TikTok and Facebook and all them things, I keep it in my car. Everything right now is the government. Everything right now is the government. The government is not in do God. They got 6 and 7 and 8 on. These people come in this party young and sparkling and get old and gray in less than no time. You think there's one thing these people is do? These people is not in do God who got 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 on. How much y'all expect one man could do? Why you feel like people in places to do these things? Y'all blame transport at harbor. Y'all blame some of them. Y'all blame the people them who are board the boat to see a man overloading the boat and still go on it with the children. They care nothing but a life and still lie down and sleep. I know some of y'all gonna say wrong. But if y'all say wrong, this is a matter for y'all. I really don't business. The cap on a boat like that. I know me the captain the get wrong cause he got cause something and let me fucking child off cause I didn't stay upon. Dumb mother sconto I got eye to see. I mean showing away me life for no fucking body. Me showing away me life for nobody. I know me need to get wrong. He got torn.
As I like to say, stick a pin. Send out your crasses to blame the victims. Yes, that's one Angel Crass. She's one of them who has benefit from small contracts. You know, I don't want to go into people past because they ain't got no pleasant looking past and now they get a chance for maybe live some semblance of a quality of life because they team up with the devils. They could come out and represent them. That's one Angel Crass. She just gets small contracts. Blame the victim. Blame poor people for wanting to go home. Blame poor people for recognizing that a journey to take them home will take between 16 and 24 hours. And let me stick up in there again. Which caring government, which loving government, which kind and considerate government will allow their citizens to have a 24-hour journey, or let me say a 16-hour journey, in the conditions that the travelers on MV Burima were traveling. Show me anywhere around the world. I don't know. My horizons have not been widened, but yeah, show me around the world where a loving and caring government will allow its citizens to travel on a vessel for 16 hours to get to the place of abode, to get to their destination, on the conditions like we saw on the MV Burima. Yeah, do the. I see a lot of people making this thing about the one trip, the last voyage of MV Burima. It's not about the last voyage of MV Burima, you know. It is more than the last voyage of MV Burima. The last voyage of MV Burima has opened up the floodgates to all of the abuses which occurred prior. A new vessel bought with the nation's money sitting somewhere for 3 years. 3 years. And the people who should be benefiting or having access to that facility are made to travel in unsafe conditions. But a jackass like T-Back Stacy, one of just minions and other names I can call her, rush out in defense of this crook and criminal and whoever else you want to describe them as government, and say they ain't fully guard, they ain't got no fans. They got whole cabinet, they got whole government. That is why they're ministers. That is why the president appoints ministers as his helpers. But when you dance, you really don't know what you're talking about. Stacey had the slightest understanding of government and how government should operate. Even though she understands life and how human beings, decent human beings, should operate. But blame the victims. Blame them for wanting to go home, knowing that it will take them between 16 and 24 hours to go home. As a matter of fact, I've seen accounts where people say it took them at some point in time 48 hours to get home, especially when you're working at one engine. Blame them for wanting to get home, because this crash is suggesting that they could have opted to stay off of the vessel and go on another trip. Those of you who travel that route will know that the other trip is not even certain. The other trip is not even certain. So blame poor people for wanting to get home because their resources are limited. They can't afford any other means of traveling home, and they can't afford to overnight somewhere or someplace because they don't have the financial resource. Blame them for that. Blame them for not having systems in place to ensure that the vessel is not overloaded. You blame them for that. Blame them for having no oversight to ensure that the vessel does not leave the port breaching safety standards. You blame them for that. You know, sometimes I wish it upon y'all. God forbid, but I wish it upon y'all. Because until some of y'all start feeling it, y'all ain't gonna understand it. They say who feels it knows it. I saw a account of a young lady say she traveled on the vessel frequently. and even cattle they transport on it. Even cattle, which caring government is going to allow its citizens or transport its citizens for 24 hours and in extreme cases 48 hours among cattle, simply because they need to get home and they're poor. They can't charge a flight, they can't buy a ticket for plane. Instead of this government acknowledge that it has failed the people, instead of Israel acknowledge that it has failed the people, all they're trying to do is politically manage this disaster and send their jackasses out to bray, to guilt trip the victims and their family. Yeah, blame the victims. But while you're blaming the victims, don't come and tell me about a day of mourning. Don't come and tell me about vigil. I'm listening for the people who say, let us go and protest these crasses. Why there gotta always be one of us? Why it always has to be one of us? Because we ourselves are victims of that same poverty that make those people make those same decisions that you are called poor. Just as they're making poor decisions according to your conclusion, you are making poor decisions because you're in the same position as them. All of us are poor as us. While the likes of Virgil and the presidents and the rest of them sucking the lifeblood out of this country and fattening themselves. Thank God. One more of the block. One more of the block. The things I'm tempted to say in this program, y'all gonna look at me differently. Is 8:37. It's 23 minutes to the 9 o'clock. I will open up the lines after I say this. One of my sisters sent me a message. Sisters from this program. Kidaki telling people gonna walk over. You need to repent. Because God will vex with you. One of the things I don't come on this program and discuss is my religious belief. I don't even got interest in other people's religious belief. Because you believe in what you believe in, you accept what you accept, you deal with what you deal with. I ain't got time for question you on that. I bet none of y'all on this program can't tell me what my religious beliefs are. Y'all didn't know if me Muslim, y'all didn't know if me Hindu, like Samines. Y'all didn't know if me is a Wobby Walker, me is a iniquity. Y'all didn't know nothing but me. None of you has the right to come here and lecture me about religion. None. Listen to my statement again. All y'all talking say the PPP got this country and the spell, and they got me and the Obio. But look around this country, you could always find somebody in some community who talking about their neighbor being to Obio man and Taiwan picnic in belly, and their neighbor been to an Obio man and put them out of work, and their neighbor go to a Obio. Why don't you use that same Obio to free yourself from the PPP Obio? It's a simple inquiry. Me ain't saying you for going to do iniquity. Me ain't saying you, and a lot of people perceive the terminology obia to be iniquitous or iniquity. Aside for you. To say the least. Aside for you. Right? Because if you are saying that the PPP people work in Obia, to enslave and oppress the majority of us the way they are doing. And whatever we believe in is not nullifying the impact of the Obia. Something wrong with we and what we believe in. Something wrong with we and what we believe in. So, y'all don't come for me. Y'all don't come for me. Yeah? Due respect and love. As like I usually say, tough love is love too. I love y'all. I love everything we do as a family here. Yeah? But y'all don't come for me. Y'all entitled to y'all opinions, I entitled to me own. Right? Let me just show you. Share with you a little bit from AI. Because I asked AI, I said, give me a deeper meaning of Obia. And AI gave me a whole list of things. But let me tell you this. Origins. Obia developed in the Caribbean during slavery, particularly in Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, Antigua, and other British Caribbean territories. Enslaved Africans from different ethnic groups, including the Akan, the Igbo, the Congo, the Yoruba, and others, brought their spiritual traditions with them. Because they were separated from their communities and forbidden from openly practicing their religions, many beliefs blended into what became known as Obia. It is a complex Afro-Caribbean spiritual tradition that combines religion, healing, protection, ancestral beliefs, herbal medicine, ritual practice, and in some cases, beliefs about supernatural influence. It is often misunderstood because colonial authorities and popular culture portrayed it almost exclusively as black magic or witchcraft. In reality, Obia has always been much broader and more nuanced. I come here to teach, to share, to empower, and to learn. I think that was one of my teachable moments. Don't let massa beat into your head. That what they deem Obia is all wickedness and cruelty and so on and so forth. Because when massa telling about voodooism and so on, and it's bad and it's wicked and it's so, massa got their own rituals. Right? Massa got their own rituals. Talk about Freemasonry and talk about lodge and talk about this and talk about that. Listen, arrest yourself. Right? I got my belief. Y'all didn't know up to now, despite this discussion, what I believe in. Good? But the one thing I will continue to ask you, if your God is the same God as the people who oppress you and oppress your ancestors and murder your ancestors and rape your ancestors and do the no ends of bad to your ancestors, if you are got the same God, who you expect the God to save? Because so far, I necessarily see the enslaver's God saving the enslaved. I rest my case. Y'all take it however you want it. The lines are open. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. Don't mourn. Organize. Call you on. Good morning.
Good evening, Mr. Amsterdam. Concerning this situation with this boat and this girl that come out there flying her mouth. I would like to ask her if she ever travel in a minibus that overload. Because when you live East Coast and them place, especially in the afternoon with the rush hour, or let's say 12, 11, 10 in the night, and you want to go home. When the man load the bus, you're glad to reach home because you work all day. So even if you know you're taking a risk, you understand, you're still going to jump on board. So what she expect the people them to do? If the captain them said the boat and overload, who is me as a passenger to say it overload? In a minibus, you could know exactly if it overload or not. But a big boat like that, if the captain them or the crewman said buy the boat and overload, how you going to think? Number two, the government should take full responsibility for this thing. They should fire Agile. Why is it they should fire Agile? Because the manifest supposed to have the capacity of the boat, the weight capacity and the thing capacity. In other jurisdiction, if that manifest have more people than supposed to be on it, the port authority will not allow that boat to leave. And if by somehow, let's say for example, use a crew member and your father and brother come and you squeeze a man on the boat, right? When the boat now reach and they realize that, wait, this thing have more than capacity, somebody had to pay a fine. I want to know if that boat ever overload, if anybody had to pay a fine or anybody was thing. Now, when they, knowing the PPP government and their track record and the politicalization of the police force, when you see the lack of the captain, it's deeper than that. They want to shut up the captain for the captain don't speak the truth if the boat overload. Because people say accusing the people saying that the captain does say that the car, you call from big one to say, okay, full this boat, take on the extra load. So how often this boat left the dock overload and stuff like that? And where are the authority? First of all, the insurance company wants the boat overload, that'll cancel the insurance. So all of these things have to be bridging from long time. So the government need to fire whoever in charge Agile as the minister, because all this time they must be putting Guyanese people at risk. And how much more people got to die before they fix this system? Now you got to ask how much skullduggery going on in different places when it comes to safety of our Guyanese people. So I recommend that fire Agile, because Agile is past Guyanese people where they should also put things in place to make sure if Agile was serious about the Guyanese life, you would hear that because the boat was overloaded, somebody was fired, somebody was fined before. God got to come down and tell me as a Guyanese citizen said that is the first time that boat was overloaded. Because one of the eyewitnesses, I just listened to the man said the boat overloaded from since the boat left, he axed body up on the boat. He said one big wave messed up and hit the boat. If the boat never overloaded, the wave would not sink the boat. Thank you, Mr. Amsterdam.
You know, sometimes I wonder why I even bother. Or why we even bother. There are reports out there that the safety officer, I spoke about this yesterday, I don't know the correct terminology, but apparently it's a female safety officer. Call a hold the line on mute, please. Recognize the boat as overloaded and caution them about moving the overloaded boat. And by the time she turns her back and think, the overloaded boat left, and it is alleged that somebody called Agile. It is alleged that somebody called Agile and Agile say, let the boat roll. It is alleged. Don't want to scapegoating but capturing and narcotics in the system and alcohol in the system and all of that. I asked before and I'm asking now, when was the last time prior to this tragedy that the captain and crew were tested for alcoholic or drug use, narcotic use or anything? When was the last time? So you only test them because of this tragedy and you want a scapegoat. Because it is alleged that it's a common practice that mothers drink and smoke and gamble and sex underage girls and overage women all on the boat. You're telling me, Agile, that you never got reports like that before? What did you do about it? Call us, speak.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki. The cross will come up on the program earlier, getting things like them done, but don't know the history. what would cost Dr. Hines and you and me about telling them about the history to behave in the way. Coming back to the boat, I traveled extensively on transport boat because when I was going to school in Tonga, I had to use the Macau ransom. And I could remember we had a captain. I don't want to call his name out. He's close to 90 now. He's still alive. That captain, when the boat break down, so my two boats break down. First boat, second boat, the third boat. When the boat, imagine the conversion of people, no bridge. Everybody and no speedboat. And slack and go on the Macau Road. And all the man would do, he would come off the ship and call off the crew and say, when this ship get the right amount of people that I can carry it safely across the Demerara River, then I will be going back into the wheel room. That was in Barnum time. Nobody come to call Barnum and tell Barnum said, bring the ship, bring Macau with the triple load of people. No, you had to get it right. But in these times, when you a person stand up for the right of work, you talk about the inabilities on the work site, the insufficient things to make your work site safe, no safety measures. You're being targeted and sent off the job. You know why, Sarifan? The staff that they look to try to destroy. I could remember a particular staff member used to talk about the atrocities that goes on at transport. At the same good slot. When they say, well, look, we want this phone calls coming in. Let this person go on the boat. Transport does sell ticket. When they finish selling the ticket, people calling them, let this person go on the boat. And that was Edgel line and said that the boat outfitted will Edgel drive a car, 89 years old. I quite certain the vehicle Edgel and all the family drive in 10 years old. But you're going to put your people on a boat that is 89 years, 87 years old. Look at two persons. Look at an 89-year-old person and look at a 45-year-old person and see the difference. And the same thing we got in the human body, what God created and what God, you're going to get it in things of people make. God didn't make the boat. God didn't create the boat. And when a boat is in salt water all the time, like the Northwest boat, and boats like that, then boats outside, after certain years running in the oceans with the salt water, they take them off. The barnacles would go into them boats and undermine and eat like how sugar does eat you out. They just destroy the metal. I built my veranda 2016. I had new steel. The day when I got to do the casting, we had to go and buy more steel. I buy the steel. I live in from the ocean there. And let me tell you, right now, me veranda steel, it's sloughing and it's breaking up because salt is getting it and it destroy. How far right there from the ocean? 2016, 10 years. And a boat there in the water for 80-something years, fetching weight on top and thing eating out. And this government standing up and telling people that if they talk. Look when was Margie Fire. Just the why had to come out and with the jail people if they brought out the truth. And what I want to finish off it. You got plenty of new and PNC people who turning and telling you that the minister said the boat didn't overload and the boat didn't overload. People, I want y'all to be persons with conscience to talk. I traveled to the Northwest 3 times in my life. 3 times. going and coming 6 times. And I could tell you about the palm room. That when I listen to Annette Ferguson saying and Wayne Caesar show that they should that checkpoints, which part of the Atlantic Ocean can you set up a checkpoint for a boat traveling 12 miles out in the sea to not to be affected by the Pomeroon River, which is it is being affected. You just cross the mountain Essequibo, but 7 miles. You cross the mountain Demerara, but 3 miles, no problem. But go into the Pomeroon mouth, go in that all the distance and see the reaction of the water. Bye bye. Condolences to all who lost their life. I feel it for y'all. And thank God, Sherrod, you're always jumping and saving people. In the parliament, you saved Natasha Singh, your last thing. Now look, yesterday you got there, they're locking you up. Sherrod, you should have walked with Papa Travis, and I think that he might save you back. Bye-bye.
Leon, good morning.
A blessed good morning to you, Mr. Kadaki. Um, First to begin with, I would like to say that you are 100% right. This is not a time for mourning and candlelight vigil only to respect the ones that who have lost their lives. This is a time whereby that Guyanese need not to sit down and allow this government to continue s- sacrificing people's lives. I said from the get go, this is a matter of sacrifice. Why did I say this? People are seeing it with their naked eyes. At a time when government should recognize the efforts that people are making collectively to at least highlight an incident that occurred in our country and give solid support to the families and to those who are being rescued at a time like this. But yet the government choose to prosecute people, arrest people, and send threats to people. This is to show that people are to be aware that the government has no interest in saving lives or respecting lives that has lost in our shores. And people must be very cognizant of this fact. This is a this act here is a sacrificial act that occurred because numerous times people warn the authorities about this boat that is not safe to travel, knowing that they are being working it under these conditions. And yet the authorities are giving these engineers and those workers that who are plying their work on that boat to go ahead and work that boat under these conditions. Now this is plain and simple. You are sacrificing people because government knows, the authorities knows that if that boat is being sent to the waters and that condition, at some point of time, a catastrophe can happen. So a collapse can happen. And they know for sure that this collapse can happen. And this, in spite of taking heed and adherence to all the workers who work there and warn the authorities, they still carry that boat out to the waters and endangering people's lives. Now, Mr. Kadaki, I am saying that this government is so immature that the Prime Minister got and said that Mr. Mohammed did not receive or retrieve much more deaths or more deaths than the government. This is childish behavior. This is immaturity. This is unprofessional. This shows clearly the intellect of a person who holds an high office as prime minister. What kind of nonsense is this that is coming out of his mouth as a prime minister when he should be showing some kind of gratitude, when he should be showing some kind of solidarity with standing with Mr. Mohammed to say, okay, you're part of this search party and you're trying to assist the relatives and who have lost their family lives on that vessel. This is clear intent that this government has no intentions of saving lives or securing lives. This is commonly a sacrifice that was made, point blank. And besides that, finally, let me give you an example. When you are young, let's say in your teens, you can run 100 meters dash in 10 seconds or 20 seconds. When you become old, let's say you're in your 50s, you cannot run that time in that distance in that same time because you're old. What I mean to say, the integrity of that boat has been compromised due to age. That boat should never been on our waters running the service and in danger and that pose dangers to people's lives. That boat should have been retired and put on a sandbank so that people can go and visit it as a like a semi museum or whatever it is. That is safe. That is to say that I am saying, and I'm saying this from the start, all the families of who have lost their lives, their loved ones on that boat should join collectively and file a lawsuit against the state because this is the state's neglect. This is not an accident. This is a neglect. And I am saying again, people should be very cognizant of the fact. Let them use this opportunity not only as the waterways that they ply their trade or try their destination. Those planes that you see, the Ogle and Tamari has, those chart cargo planes that they're carrying people in the interior, those planes are compromised as well because I'm quite sure those planes have lost have expired. They lost the act of expiry date. So I'm telling the people, the public, be very careful when you're traveling into the interlands via flight and as well the boat that is existing of today. Government has, this country is blessed with many resources. We are filthy rich, and it wouldn't take nothing to purchase new planes and new boats for communities to travel. Mr. Kadaki, thanks for having me. Have a blessed one.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. This situation, this accident, hurt all of us. Once you are human, you're breathing. You have brother, sister, mother, whoever you have, and you don't cry out and you don't feel the pain of the families that is mourning something is wrong. But my direction this morning.
Stop.
I can remember when Dr. Campbell and others went to Mountain or wherever, and there was a little barricade, and they didn't pass it because they said they have to stop. They stopped them. My thing is, you are the leader, and if our country is free movement and it don't have restriction that, oh, this area you can go. Because I see Venezuelans coming to this country and they move wherever they want to go, they man have no restrictions. Okay, they didn't pass it turn back. And they come out to us and cry, say, oh, these people are making the pass. They could have walked past and let them arrest all of them. Or let them shoot them. No, they didn't do though. They turned back. Such as yesterday, the arrest Sharon, they put them out. You man, you know, you can't go in. I would have walked in, the guy heist me and move me. And if the leaders are afraid, we get worse than in slavery. Because at least in slavery time, by history, they used to knock drums, they used to do different things to communicate. But now our leaders complaining to us. So we gotta rise up by ourselves without leaders. Because the leader leading, the leader the frighten. If PPP tell them for go sit down, they move and they go sit down. If PPP go tell them jump over the barrier and stay there, that's what they're doing. After you know your rights, that is free movement. You aren't breaking no law. You're going for give sympathy. Even if you aren't going for give sympathy, you're going for curiosity. You're supposed to be there because it's a Guyanese thing. It's our right to be anyway in this country. But it seems as though we way past slavery because we got restriction. We got for dying odds and bonds right now. Get place that we can go and place that we can go. It's only some people can move anywhere, do anything and say anything. We in bad shape. Sorry to say it's sad. It's bringing tears to everybody's eyes, but we're seeing that we don't have leaders.
Good morning, Kodakian listeners, viewers. It's high time the opposition them come together and got the government running. The government running, not agile. The government must be running. They must be running like in Nepal or wherever the place named there. They must be running.
Morning, Brother Kidaki. Good morning, Guyanese. All right-thinking Guyanese. I'm talking about the racial Indian ones in them in this country. Look at this point in time, the narrative that they're peddling. When they know that the government stink and dirty. Come on, boy, this you don't have no heart. Hope y'all see. Okay. I hope y'all see the people them that's separating this country called Guyana, the PPP supporters, them, the don't stocks them. Hope y'all see. That's why I tell y'all, we gotta stop supporting these people business. We have to be self-independent. Stop supporting people business. I don't buy non-greens from them. I don't buy nothing from them. The only time I buy from them is something hardware. I don't buy nothing from these people because I study these people. I went to University of Cambridge for these people. This Rachel Kuli people, she live in this country. I went to Cambridge University for these people. These people are not good for this country. And it's the criminal. And they don't stop got him in this. The man with 19 fraud charge. They keep peddling this narrative of what's going on in this country. It's the PPP fault. The blame have to be on the people that control the country, not no other body. If then they put proper system in place for that big tragic that happened in that river, that thing could have been avoided. But because of not them supporters living that route, there is the whole thing. Look at the route that they're supposed to live in. They have brand new boats. They have comfortable boats. We got to wake up as Guyanese and your Dr. Love. That criminal will go away and left with two sons. Them fellas is a big one is 20 and one is 22. At this point in time, we owe how much $1 million in child support. He used to live in the Namstel with them his wife from the Namstel. This guy, something wrong with this guy. I can't. I see a black man running down the own matty black man like that. He have to be paid. That's what the people get paid for. Run down their own race. Come home to roost. Come to the front of the class and come home. Come home if you got more seed more than Baigan. You're trying to save yourself from getting jail when you come home for those child support. Come home to Guyana. And you're my...
Kadaki, blessings and good morning to you, my brother. Blessings to our listeners from the diaspora and from the four corners of the globe. Kadaki, how many more lives must die before Guyana being free from these wicked, evil, demonic criminals that run in the country? See that they are leaders, they are devils. Karaki, I listened to an interview this morning with this fella who professes to be the prime minister. His name is Mark Phillips. When you look at his facial expression, you can see the devil in him. You can see the wickedness in him. He was posed a question. He talk and he say about how he do have to be on the show to explain what he mean by noise. Karaki, if these kind of people have to be in the office that they control, Guyana will never be a good place because those guys not good. Those guys under demonic spell. You can see the devil in his face. And this next one they say they call one Edgel. He's not one Edgel, you know. He's two Edgel. Those guys need to step down because they incompetent. Even the president, Irfan Ali, he's incompetent. Look at his face. You can see the devil in him. Those guys going around under demonic force. Those guys going around with demonic force, they are under the spell of devils. That's why things like these keep on happening in Guyana. Things are not normal. And for the Guyanese people, things shall not be the same. Things cannot be the same. All they had to make Guyana an ungovernable place by all means necessary. If all they had to walk in the night and sleep in the day, all they had to get up and do what it is all they had to do. Now it's serious times. It's just blood, 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 blood. What else are they waiting for?
Mr. Kadaki, good morning. You know, I want to say this to our Guyanese people, especially our Africans. Let me tell you something. This whole situation with that boat is the blame is on the government and especially that one Edgel. Those people have the temerity to take our money and purchase a boat and have that boat doing nonsense like the First Lady party and all these madness and take a whole boat. I've got a whole condemned boat that was condemned since March to put passengers and human beings inside. How much more can people take from this government? And how much more can people ask? What else can we expect from them? That is the most disgusting thing. You take the money to purchase a boat which was supposed to be changing that boat that you have carrying passengers till now that is supposed to be condemned. How more wicked can these people get to human beings in this place? And trying to blame captain and crew member. You know how many times when the boat full up and overload and things, Edgel the Scarly buys them and tell them they got to carry the people there. That same Edgel. Like come out and tell the Guyanese people though. And they don't care. Even the tragedy there, one of the engineer complained bitterly that he's not going back with the boat because it's one engine and and they compel you that you got to go. That is what is going on. It is why I'm surprised at Mr. Thomas for encouraging this nonsense with Edgil when the boys don't want to put the load for the boat. They're calling Edgil and he calling the boys and tell him Edgil said got to go. Now you sit down in the car like you innocent. Is he get the bloody loose the captain and them? Is them responsible for the disaster? Take the money and do their own thing instead of buying a new boat. You don't even want to pay the money for repair, the boat for repair.
Hi, Kadaki, good morning. So many things happening. I just want to say a short sentence. That one report moved from the bottom to the top. So if anybody reporting, they have to know what is happening in that boat. And instructions move from top to bottom. So the top people are always responsible. I don't know how to lock up all those persons at the bottom. The instructions move from top to bottom. Something is definitely wrong with our Guyanese system or this government system that they're operating. Something is definitely wrong. Bye.
Morning, Kidaki. Morning, viewers. That girl is a crass. She's a KRASS. They sent she for $500,000. She won't get a contract for clean drain and light rubbish. They always using those type of people. Where she come from now? My condolence to the bereaved relatives and friends of all the deceased. 89 years old boat, when last its service and all this kind of thing. And then according to Rhonda, checkpoints when this boat leaving, when it leaving. But don't bother with them. All them gonna get sent soon. Claudine didn't get a mansion. Neither James Van didn't get back his license. Don't bother with them. All good things just come to an end.
Hi, good morning, Kadaki. Condolence to those who lost their life in the ferry, to the family. Kadaki, that ferry have a license of insurance. There's one. They say they find marijuana in either the sailors system. When the marijuana was into the system, the Saturday drugs just be in your system for 3 months. So if they smoke a month before and stop smoke, they cannot say that the people were smoking on the job. Right? 3 months after, if they used to do drug tests to the sailors and all, then they would know that, okay, you find drugs in your system, they are for 3 months, then come back to work. Then they will know. But now they find drugs in the people's system, they cannot say when that they use the drugs. There's one. So yes, they have drug in the system, but they could say that the drug in my system a month ago. And from since then I stopped smoke. Have a good day.
Call a real talk. Why don't go and raise the flag over the water? These people dealing with demons. You understand? Our ancestors have to pray against them evil demons, have to get vision from the Almighty. He put things in place for us because he said, one of the earth, the devil is on the earth. It is real what happening. People evil, satanic. A piece of time, Kuli used to sacrifice and train for riches, now then sacrificing rest of people. And this is all about the wealth. This is all about the idle wealth. The Chinese and all them evil, all them joining together. Exile Mobe, all them joining together with the evil satanic government. But they go into them and they come into them, they know when karma meet them. Then China can't even enjoy it. Because I see politicians right where I live in do worse than what them do. And when they're dead and gone, then children and then grandchildren, you want to see us meet them. The evil that man who live along them and then live along upon them generation. Guys need to take the street. This is enough. This is untimely death. It's not so. Life precious to the Almighty God. And look what them doing. Demons them dealing with. Not even the ancestor them dealing with. So guys need to take the street. The opposition need to come together. They need to come together. This is so hurtful. People is not from Guyana. So what? This is not natural.
Hi, good morning, Brother Kadaki and fellow Guyanese. The only thing I would say it again will solve this problem in Guyana is protest and is protest. We only talking, and there's no action. The PPP only will get subjected to protests. All of them know what's going on with the boat. They are responsible for what's going on with the boat. And when the head rotten, the tail will get rotten. And it's corruption. Even if you're looking at the maxi and you have a boat traveling without insurance, with the PM say that is a customary act for government vessels to travel without insurance in case anything the government. What kind of bullshit they're trying to tell the nation? Government vessels travel without insurance. All vessels on the boat supposed to have insurance. Even except them speedboat supposed to have insurance in case if anything happened to passenger. This government is not looking after the interests of the people. And Guyanese have to get up and protest and make the government ungovernable.
Oh, yes, it's 22 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. It's natural to know that I have to leave. For those persons who have been trying to call me for the last 5 or 10 minutes, I understand it's way past 9. I can't take any other calls. I was trying to play the voice notes that were sent to me. But this program got a time schedule. I mean, in some instances, I can't help but go past it like I did this morning, but I can't go for the rest of the day. Encourage your people. Don't only call Mr. Amsterdam. Call your relatives. Call your friends. Tell them to call their relatives and friends. And join the call for the removal of Ejil and the PPP government. You want better? Yeah, change your government. Yeah, change your ministers. Yeah, change the people who are not serving you. Again, if you hire a manager to manage your business and he's failing, you will remove him. We got a government that we hired to do our business. Some people will say we hired them. It's time for us to change them, get rid of them because they're doing a piss poor job. It's as simple as that. I'll have a great day. Those of you who want to continue to holler, anyhow, y'all have a great day. Goodbye.